Good evening. Welcome to our video, Macerating in Vibrational Healing with Brien and our compost tea.
So here we have the new and improved weed eater on the end of a whole hog drill. A pair of scissors, the handle broke, made in Korea.
I broke it.
So that's these two pieces, and this is from a Cuisinart, and it's just got a bolt, a nut on the end. I guess it's a bolt that threads into this. This kind of clogs up with material, but what we have here is this brown covered material that I think has nutrients in it. This is the back 40. We go in and try and beat the brush back, and the lawnmower macerates it, and we throw it in here with some water. This is about a week old. So I'm gonna plug this in.
And you can see the sawhorse that we built. The drill is mounted, and it swivels, and it's tied down. This has been a work in progress. I do want to add that I've been straining worm castings in there. I've added probably 2 cups of rock dust, a couple cups of kelp. I've added some herbs, horsetail, nettles. There's a lot of love in there. Also Epsom salts and borax.
And then we're oxygenating. And that's what this contraption here is.
Right. So the tubes, Brien attached some copper pipe. How did you do it? You just shoved it in there? You crimped them. So it weights it down, because when it pushes, it's blowing air, it can put them to the top. So since they're weighted down, the copper keeps them down.
So here we go with the Milwaukee whole hog, and this is
there's the vibration. And Brien steps in. It's a full body tool. He's working on his hip. He's directing and viscerating. We might get a little splash, but it doesn't smell so bad. But see all the froth? I did add some kefir and a little bit of yogurt.
Are you getting the hip action?
I am getting the hip action. A little bit of apple cider vinegar. Our weather has been extreme, and I am going to record or take some pictures of before and after, because some of the plants really don't look good. So I'm looking forward to giving them this juice.
So people would say, oh, if you try doing this, it gets really stinky. Well, these oxygen tubes really cut down on that
Anaerobic.
Anaerobic, like you opened up a pile of grass clippings. Even if some splashes on us, we have to go in the pond. We're weeding the pond, so we're going to come this way.
Oh, yeah. This is one of our tasks here. Okay. Here's the pond.
So all this waste material, it builds up in here, and I have a neoprene
Jumper
hip waders,
with booties.
and I go out in here when it's 80, 90 degrees with this new and improved. They make them back east. Jenna, can you read that?
It says the Marugo, Tracy City, Tennessee.
So you should look into that. This is ergonomics. This you can do for hours, and you could beat back brush, but I'm walking through the pond and throwing it with my improvised fish net.
It was a salmon net. And he put some wire cloth on it.
So you can see I didn't get through it all. That's a waste material, but there's the Bullock brothers up on San Juan Island on YouTube. They are harvesting from a pond at the base of their terraced vegetable garden. They're very communitarian. They invite intentional community people that don't know how to farm to come and work for free, and they're loving it. But they're harvesting from the pond this pond weeds and using it as compost. So here is an example of what we are pulling out, and we're thinking that if you can keep Roundup out of it, in other words, don't have it on your property, and encourage neighbors that are in the vicinity to not use it and use a vinegar, salt, and dishwashing soap.
Yeah, this would be a great mulch material too.
It is a way to keep from bringing materials in from elsewhere. How many minutes do we have?
We're at 7 minutes, 25 seconds.
Okay, so if you bring in compost from elsewhere, you don't know where it came from. Are there a bunch of Hispanics and Vietnamese people that are spraying crap and then throwing it in their truck and taking it to the compost facility? You don't know. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So the stuff that is in that black box, we sit over here with a piece of metal on it, and that holds the moisture in, it germinates the seeds, and now we're doing this. So it's 90 degrees. These seeds have germinated, and they aren't going to end up in the vegetable garden because we're going to sit them on this steel when it's 90 degrees. They've germinated, and now they're going to die. And then we can use this material that doesn't have a lot of nutrient because we got all that leachate from this material, and we put it directly on the vegetable garden. So here's Jenna's experiment. This is about 3 days old. We're trying to build retaining wall blocks. So we're going to stack one on top of two and create a retaining wall for our wood stove, which is underneath the hot tub. But all that wood stove heat is disappearing, and we want to contain it with, we're going to pull these plastic off.
Yeah.
So come on around here. So if the situation changes, we need to move elsewhere. We're not going to leave them a bunch of concrete blocks. We're going to leave them some clay.
With char in it.
And they can run over it with the bulldozer and put it back the way it was. But
this stuff is nice. It's popping. This texture is pretty good.
We put a little diesel fuel
See that? It's just popping right out.
around the edge so it doesn't stick, but I can cut this with a knife. I think it's going to go upside down and pop out in one piece and then dry.
Yeah, this is nice texture.
So we're going to make a little noise here, but this is that material that I ran over with the rototiller to bust it up kind of small, and then we throw it in here. So we just dump that right into a pot. And what we're currently interested in is something called Groasis, all one word, Groasis. If you have a tree in a dry climate and you want to plant it, it basically involves a pot, like a clay pot, and we're going to take two different sized pots and try and cast instead of throw a pot, and we're going to put material in there like vines and stalks as reinforcing. The pot holds water, it has a wood lid, and it directs the water into it and holds it through the dry period. You drill a hole in the bottom and it sends that water slowly down low so that the tree roots that you have started in the middle, it's kind of a cone shape with a hole. The tree sends its roots down instead of up and out where the sun and the drought would affect it. So we're thinking this is a decent building material.
For tree planting.
So is that about?
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Check out Grow Oasis. See you next time.